Hello everybody, welcome back to G5 Philippines. In today's episode we have the unique and exciting pleasure of interviewing a friend of mine here in San Carlos, Marie Broce. Broce. Okay, so I'm editing the third part of this interview that I did with Marie, and the reason why I'm taking a pause is because in part one, where we were talking about real estate and real estate financing for expats, we did about a 3 or 4 minute intro on Marie, which gives you a really good background of her expertise, her time spent in the US, her educational background, and so forth, which basically lends credibility to what she has to say. And one thing that I've noticed in the first two videos, they've been up for the last week or two, but I don't think that people are actually realizing that they can call Marie for not only for advice, but to move forward on health insurance, to talk to her about real estate, things like that. She has a Facebook, and I have put her contact information in the description of this video. Okay, so get to know Marie, go back to part one, watch the little introduction if you haven't already, and then you can always click back over to this video and pick up where we're leaving off here. So let's get back to the video. All right. Their interests and concerns with real estate, owning properties, health insurances, and those kinds of things, as well as I have young children, so education is a third item that I'm particularly interested in, especially higher education. All right, so the next topic that I wanted to talk about was college. So as I mentioned at the top, I've got three young kids. My oldest is 10. I can't believe she's 10. It's in the blink of an eye. So in another blink of the eye, she's going to be 18, and we're going to be looking at higher education options. So my big question for higher education, and this is sort of a philosophy that I've come up with in the last few years. One thing we didn't talk about was with healthcare is the idea for medical tourism. So because the costs of healthcare are so nominal, does it make sense to travel to the Philippines for different types of healthcare? Well, in the same sort of philosophy, what if let's say me and my family still lived in the US, and we were, getting near college age for our oldest and then the next. Would it make sense to leverage the scale of economy, the lower cost of living in the Philippines, and the lower cost of education in the Philippines, and get our kids educated in the Philippines? Does that education then translate, do those degrees and so forth translate back to the US? And I know that they do because I've talked to many people, but let's ask Marie, for her insights on college, here in the Philippines, and what that looks like, and then how does it translate back to the US or Europe or other countries.
All right. Well, a lot of people knows that a lot of Filipino were working different countries, right? They are professionals.
Yes.
So just try to imagine that.
Yeah.
Meaning our education here can always be accepted in any countries.
Right.
We can work as professional there, like nurse, doctors, teachers, with our education.
Yep.
So basically, a lot of other countries as well, like neighboring countries, they came in the Philippines.
Right.
They come to the Philippines for their education.
China, Korea, Japan. I mean, they come to the Philippines for the lower cost education. Because it's good education.
Yeah, the quality of our education. There you go.
I was going to say it's not low grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So as you can see, we can be professional in any other country.
I can speak from personal experience, not me personally, but my mother has spent a lot of time in the hospital the last 3 or 4 years with certain issues, but 9 out of 10 of the nurses that care for her are Filipino. And so she has a great time chatting with them about her son living in the Philippines. So again, it's just sort of another testament to the fact that you can get your education here, on the cheap,
and I hate to say it that way, but
It's affordable.
right. But you know, I'm just being real
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I know.
If we're you know, if our kids are getting college age, just this morning, I received a comment from a guy who he's not even married to a Filipino. He's you know, him and his wife are American and their kids are American, but he's looking to move to the Philippines to live cheaper. And he said the quality of life, you know, and I'm getting a lot of that with the social things that are going on in the U.S. right now. So I'm not shocked by that. But in any case, you know, he has youngish, you know, like early teenage kids. And so, you know, for him, this is a great option to bring your family over to the Philippines, leverage the scale of economy, leverage the lower cost of living, and perhaps be able to put some families might not even be able to think about college, whereas here in the Philippines, suddenly your options open up. Now, if you want your kids to go to Harvard, then by all means, send your kids to Harvard. But I'm just saying, you know, for me, living on a, you know, limited budget, I don't just have all the money in the world. The idea is very appealing to me to get my kids quality education, and that education perfectly translates if my kids decide they want to, you know, try living in the U.S. or what. I hope not. I hope they don't leave me. Maybe they'll just take me with them. But no matter, it is perfectly transferable, and especially it seems to be more prevalent in healthcare, you know, with nurses and those kinds of occupations.
Okay, if you have life insurance as well, you know, it's a one way of savings with interest. You know, it's, you know, you can earn for that
The whole life plans.
Yeah, the whole life. And then if you have small children, you get health insurance in there. You can get like life insurance, and then you get investment part of it. Like if you have small children and you have life insurance with investment, by the time that they get, you know, into college, you're gonna get those money because they're earning higher interest rate compared if you're gonna put it in the bank. At the same time, you're insured. So
well, you really piqued my interest with that. I mean, obviously I know about the savings part, obviously I know about the life insurance part, but you mentioned health. If that bundles in somehow.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your sales coverage, if I have expats that are listening in Luzon, or can you sell to anybody in the Philippines? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not limited to Negros or something like that.
And that's the thing. Like if you get hospitalized or you get sick, if you need, like, you know, anywhere in the Philippines, you are covered. The only thing that you're not covered when you are in the other countries, and then you get sick in there.
Yeah.
It's already not part.
I do have a personal life insurance policy on me and my wife in the U.S. And I forced them, it took some doing, but I forced them to send me in writing the actual section of the policy that states that regardless where you live, that you know, if something happens to me and I live in the Philippines, that yes, my wife, who's the beneficiary, would receive the, I call it death insurance benefit. And they assured me and sent me the little clip inside the policy that explains that. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's also here in the Philippines. Like the death benefit can cover
no matter
where you are. You get covered to that. It's only the health part, you know, that you're not covered. But with the death benefit, wherever you are covered. Your beneficiary covered. Like, you know, they can get that.
Again, you know, this applies to the guys who might be thinking about moving to the Philippines, as well as the guys that are already here. And so we're looking at, you know, how do we insure our family? How do we buy and build our own house? How do we do these things, you know, affordably and get what we want out of life, kind of a thing. So guys, you can see why it was no accident. It was a happy accident that Marie and I met. Her English is fantastic. She understands my concerns as a foreigner well enough that she already knows my questions before I even ask, kind of a thing.
There's always reason.
There's always a reason. I believe that wholeheartedly.
This is my opportunity in saying thank you, and I hope you get something from here out of these topics, because yeah, everything is important. Our health is important, education is important, basically life is very important, and a lot of people don't prepare for those things. I'm just gonna get some quote in the Bible, or just a story, like, you know, Noah asked them to get them together because there's gonna be a storm. So you don't know, a lot of people just laugh or do nothing. So in life, it's gonna be like that. We need some preparation in order for us. It's gonna be beneficial on our part, on our end. So I hope you'll get something out of this, and I thank you for inviting me. It's really a pleasure, like, to share.
Well, thank you. It's definitely my pleasure. And so, all right, guys, well, with that, we're going to wrap it up and call it done. So thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for sharing these videos. If you know other guys that need this information, please share, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.